Before financial technology companies like SoFi and Chime took the industry by storm with their multi-billion-dollar valuations, Ally Bank was the king of online banking. But is Ally Bank still worth it in 2023? Alright, we looked at Ally Bank years ago. In fact, it was one of the very first banking reviews that I ever did on this channel. But with so much competition popping up in recent years, I think it's time that we take a refreshed look at Ally Bank. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get started with the checking and savings account. Ally calls their checking account interest checking, since despite being a checking account, it still pays 0.15% APY on balances up to $15,000 and 0.25% APY on balances above that mark. That is a lot better than most national banks who pay you next to nothing on your checking account balances, but remember that we've still got the savings account to talk about later, which has a much higher APY. In terms of features and functionality, first of all, your money is fully FDIC insured up to $250,000, which is always important to look for nowadays. And you have no fees across the board, meaning no monthly fees, no minimum balance requirements, and they even have an overdraft protection feature called Coverdraft, which will cover you up to $250 if you overdraft your account. You also have access to over 43,000 free-to-use all-point ATMs, and Ally will even reimburse up to $10 per statement cycle for any fees charged by out-of-network ATMs, which is honestly a really nice bonus that a lot of their competitors do not have. You of course can get paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit, and perhaps my favorite feature about this interest-bearing checking account is the Ally Buckets, which is essentially their version of digital envelopes or the vaults feature that we've talked about with SoFi. Regardless of what they call it, this is an increasingly more popular feature across the entire industry, and Ally was honestly the first to the punch on this one. Now on the checking side, these are called spending buckets, which are obviously different than the savings buckets that we'll look at in a second, but these allow you to break down your money into different buckets for expenses that you incur regularly, essentially allowing you to budget within the Ally app. And just like I've shown you before with similar features from similar platforms, you can set up automated transfers so that money comes into your account with your direct deposited paycheck and is automatically divided up across your different expense buckets. And I think that is awesome because this includes things like your mortgage payment, rent, utilities, and all that kind of stuff. Ally claims that this can replace a full-blown budgeting app. Whether or not that is true is honestly up to each individual user, but it definitely does go a step further than the simple savings vaults and similar features that platforms like Wealthfront and SoFi offer. Now, on the savings side of things, you're looking at 3.75% APY at the time of recording this video, which is really great, but not the highest in the industry, with Wealthfront offering 4.55% right now, and SoFi offering 4.2%. If you ask me, an extra 0.5% or so is honestly not that big of a deal because most of us don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars in these accounts, and if you do, you should probably be investing a lot of that anyways. So 3.75% is just fine if you ask me. Savings accounts are typically pretty boring, but Ally spices things up with the savings buckets that I mentioned earlier, which again are slightly different than the spending buckets, but work in pretty much the exact same way. Set money aside for emergency funds, your next vacation, down payment on your next house, or really any long-term financial goal that you want to be saving for. And all of the money in these buckets is going to earn that same 3.75% APY. As part of that savings bucket feature, Ally also offers what they call boosters, which includes the recurring automated transfers that I just mentioned, roundup savings tools that will round up purchases made on your Ally debit card to the nearest whole dollar and automatically transfer that into your savings accounts, and a pretty unique feature called Safe to Save, which essentially analyzes any third-party accounts that you have linked to your Ally accounts, and they will automatically transfer money from those accounts into your savings accounts if they deem it safe to save. I get the point of that last feature, but I'm personally not a huge fan of another bank automatically transferring money from another account into Ally just because some automated algorithm deemed that money safe to save. And that's coming from a guy who loves automating everything when it comes to his finances. So let me know what you think of that feature down in the comments. Again, you've got no monthly maintenance fees, no minimum balance requirements, or any of that crap, and Ally offers really competitive 24/7 customer support via phone, email, and their in-app chat service, allowing you to talk to a real human being at any time, which in my eyes is incredibly important, especially with a fully online bank. As far as the Ally app is concerned, you're currently looking at a near perfect rating with tens of thousands of reviews on the iOS App Store alone, and while it still isn't the most sleek and modern app design in the industry, they have done a lot of work in recent years to bring it up to speed, and personally, I would put it in a solid top 5 in terms of overall user experience and the design. You really can access pretty much everything you'd need right from your smartphone, including all of the other account options that Ally offers, which is really where they set themselves apart from the similar fintech competition. Outside of the standard checking and savings accounts, they also offer a high yield CD, a raise your rate CD, and a no penalty CD, which if you don't know, those are certificates of deposit. The high yield CD has rates that go as high as 4.8% at the time of recording this video, but as always, those rates are constantly changing, especially in today's environment, so definitely check out Ally's website for the most up-to-date rates on the CDs. The no penalty CD allows you to pull your money out early in exchange for a lower rate of return, but that honestly defeats the whole purpose of a CD, so I would avoid that one. And the raise your rate CD allows you to actually increase the interest rate of your certificate of deposit if the federal funds rate changes, which is pretty awesome considering usually CDs are locked in at a predetermined rate for a predetermined amount of time. Ally also offers a money market account, which is sort of a blend between a checking and savings accounts, offering 4% APY on all balances right now, plus many of the advantages that come with the checking account that we looked at earlier, like 43,000 free-to-use ATMs and the ability to deposit checks and all of that good stuff. Honestly, if you ask me, the money market account is one of the best account options that Ally offers, so if you are considering one of these options but you're on the fence, then you might want to look into the money market account. All right, that's a majority of what Ally offers on the banking side of things, and while they do have some banking IRAs and a few other miscellaneous account options, those will work in pretty much the same way as some of the other accounts that we already covered. But Ally also offers a number of different credit cards, which we won't get into in this video, but if you do want everything to be under one roof, then that's definitely worth checking out as well. And they also have a pretty robust investment and retirement planning tool that I think can really hold its own. Again, we won't get into the specific details too much in this video, but with their wealth management feature, you can get personalized guidance on all of your investment accounts, not just those that fall under Ally's umbrella. And while it's not necessarily the best dedicated investing tool out there, it can definitely stand its ground. And again, if you want to have everything under one platform, then I think this is another great option worth considering. All right, and lastly, before we answer the most important question of is Ally still worth it in 2023, Ally of course offers a number of lending services, including mortgage options, auto loans, and personal loans, just to name a few. So all in all, it's a really well-rounded platform with a handful of standout features that the competition still does not offer. But how does it stack up against competitors like SoFi, Chime, and Wealthfront? And of course, is it worth getting in 2023? As always, it depends on each individual, but the main group that I think Ally is a great fit for is those of you who are still a little bit skeptical about fully online banking, but are looking for an alternative to your brick and mortar bank. Again, I want to be clear that Ally is still a fully online bank, but as we just saw, Ally offers really competitive interest rates since they don't have those brick and mortar locations and are therefore able to pass those savings along to you, their customer, in the form of interest on your deposits. But like I also said, they aren't the most sleek and modern platform out there, which for some users is honestly a good thing, because not everyone is looking to day trade cryptocurrency from their smartphone. And if you're just looking for a simple way to manage your money from your phone, then Ally is honestly the perfect fit for you. That being said, we already identified that there are platforms with a better design, in my opinion, ones that offer higher interest rates and have a more well-rounded and robust lineup of features. So if you want the latest and greatest and all of the most modern features and a fully integrated financial solution from start to finish that you can manage from your smartphone, then I personally still feel that things like SoFi, Chime, and Wealthfront are probably a better option in that scenario. But keep in mind that that's coming from a guy who has reviewed hundreds of these platforms and naturally leans towards those more modern and sleek apps. So for the right individual, yes, Ally is absolutely still a great platform in 2023 and one that I don't think will be going anywhere anytime soon. But if you're ready to fully commit to the world of online banking with all of the latest bells and whistles, then personally, I would recommend looking elsewhere, and I'll leave some links to my favorite financial tools down in the description below. As per usual, this is just my opinion and one that might not be that popular. So let me know what you think of Ally down in the comment section and whether or not you think this is a platform that is still worth getting. Thanks so much for your time, and as always, take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.